Hi, my name is Hannah Boyette. I'm an animal and dairy science major with a concentration in veterinary science. I'm in my senior year, and I have decided to do an internship over the summer with Dr. Alan Etheridge. He is a licensed veterinarian. He's also licensed in 4 states to go and do equine dentistry. He's also waiting to receive his license for equine chiropractic work as well. This was a very interesting opportunity for me to get. In my area in Meridian, Mississippi, there's not a lot of veterinarians that still do large animal. Very few do it, and there's not much to see there. So when I heard that this could be an opportunity for me to do, I sought it out and I went and said, I'm going to go for it. Well, it was very nice of me to be able to go and do this because I got to see a lot more in that field and got to see more of what they do and what all is there to offer. For instance, on my daily things that he would have me do, he would have me go and I'd be responsible for setting up and make sure everything was ready for him. I would go, and we would sometimes go and travel to places that were like 3 hours away, and some days we were back at his clinic. A lot of what we would do is I would go and say we were at his clinic. Same kind of concept for if we were at someone else's facility. We'd go and make sure we had the water and the power resources for us to use, because a lot of his stuff is motor powered, and that's kind of hard to do if you don't have that available to you. So I would go and set up his table, get all of his equipment he needed, set up dental halters, and x-ray equipment if that was what was required for us to do dental x-rays. A lot of the equipment was really hard at first for me to figure out what he wanted and needed, but over time he helped me understand what things were used for and what he required on those specific days. It was really interesting. We got to see a lot of dental extractions, which I've never got to see those before. I didn't realize how important the teeth were, and to be honest, they're about as important as a person's. I'd go in and assist restraining and holding the animal for him during the procedure. Sometimes he needed the head held a specific way so he could reach things, or go and analyze the lateral exsursion, make sure the jaw can move properly. And after that, I would be responsible for helping put the horse back in either the client's trailer or take it to a stall, which with it being sedated like it was, it can be kind of difficult to move a large animal like that to the location it needed to be in. But once that was done, if we were finished with the dentals that day, I would go and pack up all the equipment and make sure it was cleaned up and everything, nothing was nasty, and put it back to where it needed to be for our next location or for the end of the day. A lot of our days were really early starting out. Some days I was out there at 5 o'clock and making sure that things were ready to go for our trips, and other days it would be like 8 o'clock. But we were usually finished on normal days about 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and some days we wouldn't get back till like 10 o'clock at night. It just depended on how far we were traveling. It was just really interesting to see how he communicated with his clientele. His lingo that he spoke, he made it more simplified for them to understand. For instance, some of my ADS courses, like animal science and anatomy and physiology, really helped with me understanding as well, because it took all those different ways the body moves and the way it's put together. He took that and conveyed it into information that the clientele could understand and comprehend and understand its importance and why what he's doing is good. So that was really interesting. I learned a lot in this internship. I learned a lot about myself. I learned that being a waitress for 4 years, I've learned kind of I was told what to do, and obviously I've been able to communicate with people and talk to people, and that's also a very fun part of what I've done for myself in my job. But it's a lot different when you're working with like a veterinarian, or if you are the veterinarian, you got to be able to predict things and make changes, and those are sometimes hard to do and understand. It's definitely a skill that I have to make sure I go and better myself in. Any advice for people who are wanting to do this? It is definitely a great experience. He's very helpful, very informative, and you get to learn a lot of things while you're with him. And it's been very knowledge enriching for me. And I say go for it if you have the opportunity to do it. Well, it's been my pleasure speaking with y'all, and I hope you've enjoyed my presentation. Bye.